Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechsig of Mad River Outfitters in the Midwest Fly Fishing Schools. Just touching base, a video we made a little while back where I talked about a new product for 2024 from our friends at Loon, and it was called the hook holder. If you didn't see that video, it's linked right here. And if you can't see that link on the device you're on, it's down in the description as it always is, so you can click down there. So anyway, go and watch that video. And the Loon hook holder was really a cool little gadget that Loon brought to the fly fishing industry. Yes, I'm familiar with the fact that it's been available for a while in the conventional market, but I had never seen it in the fly fishing world. And then, so a couple of things. A bunch of people chimed in and said, oh my gosh, $10 a piece. Well, they're not $10 a piece. You get 3 of them in a pack. So they're, $3.30, whatever it is, which is whatever. If you don't want to spend $3.30 to have a hook keeper on your rod, that's fine. But the point of this video was a bunch of people chimed in, accused the fly rod companies of being cheap to the point where they're not putting hook keepers on their rods anymore. So if you're not familiar with what a hook keeper is, it's that little ring that's right up next to the cork grip. It's a U-shaped ring right up next to the cork. And for those of you just getting started in fly fishing, it is not a guide. You don't run your line through that. That's designed to hold the hook. So when you tighten your rod up, it tightens everything up, whether you're moving from spot to spot, putting your rod up, whatever it might be. It just holds the hook in place so your line and your leader and your fly is just not flapping in the wind. Fly rod companies are not putting them on these rods because they're cheap. They're not putting them on because they're just not necessary. Okay, there is a better way, which I'm going to show you. This is my instructor rod. A lot of people often ask me about this. If you've seen any of our fly casting instructional videos, this is the rod that I'm using. This rod was given to me by Lefty Cray himself, maybe 20 plus years ago. And it's a TFO rod that he had custom made called the instructor rod. Done up in yellow so our students can see it and you can see it here on YouTube. Well, Lefty didn't put a hook keeper on here for a reason, because you don't need a hook keeper and there's a better way. If you absolutely want and have to have a hook keeper, well, you can buy a pack of these. You get 3 of them for 10 bucks. It easily mounts onto your rod and presto, you have a hook keeper. It actually folds out of the way. It's even better than a hook keeper. It folds out of the way when you don't need it, so it's not getting hung up on anything. And you can put your fly on there and off you go. You got a hook keeper. But I don't ever, even if I have a fly rod that has a hook keeper, I don't use it. This is one of my new favorite fly rods. It's made by Echo. It's called the Echo 8.4B, 8 4 inch, fantastic rod for small stream fishing, especially with sinking lines, bass bugs, and what have you. In fact, we hear rumors they're coming out with a 8.4B and a 9-weight and 10-weight. So I'll probably be taking this to New Orleans and red fishing with it. Also has my favorite grip, which is also on the Echo Prime, one of my favorite saltwater rods. Anyway, Tim, Ray, Jeff, and the folks at Echo did not put a hook keeper on here because you don't need one. There is a way that you can, and it's an even better situation. You can take your fly and hook it up onto one of the snake guides, and then you wrap your leader around the reel, and then you can actually wrap it around the first stripping guide. It buttons everything up so your line's not flopping around. If you put 2 or 3 rods in the back of your truck together, they're not getting all tangled up. It's a far better method anyway. So it's not because these companies are cheap and they don't want you to have a hook keeper. It's that it's just not necessary, and then there's a better way. So there's one solution, the Loon hook holder. Costs you all of $3.30. You can add it to any fly rod if you absolutely have to have one. Let's step outside and I'll show you exactly how to do this technique of attaching it to the guide and wrapping it around the reel, which I'm talking about, which we've actually shown you before in videos, but I just thought that we've had enough people asking about it via email and here in the shop. I thought we'd cover it here on a video. So let's step outside and have a look. Okay, so having a hook keeper, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you want to use a hook keeper, that's fine. But one of the problems with a hook keeper is if your leader is longer than your rod, then when you tighten up on this, your leader is going to be inside the tip of the rod, and it's going to cause a kink in that part of the leader. And it can be tough to get out. You're going to have to run your fingers over it, maybe even run a leader straightener over. So it's not an optimal situation, but it's also not the end of the world. So if you don't have a hook keeper, you can add that loon hook keeper on there, and then when you go to fish, just click it out of the way, no problem. But here's that better way that I'm talking about. And if you don't have a hook keeper, even if I do have a hook keeper on the rod, this is what I do. And you're gonna put this up on one of the snake guides. And so I'm gonna come up above the stripping guides, and I'm going to put the hook right through that snake guide, okay? It's best to use the snake guides. You don't want that hook through one of your stripping guides, because usually you have ceramic or other materials for the inserts, and you don't want that hook scraping up your inserts. So then all you're going to do is you're going to come around the back side of your reel. Don't come around the spool side, or that leader can slip through in between the spool and the frame. And then you simply tighten it up, and you see that we're not kinking up our leader at all. The leader is now going around the circumference of the reel, so you're not going to get a kink at all there. And then the other added bonus is that you can button this up. And here's how you do this. You take this leader right next to your stripping guide, your first stripping guide, and you come around clockwise, and you go once, and you go twice right around that stripping guide. And now everything's buttoned up. There's no line flopping around anywhere. And if you put this rod in a rod holder, it's much cleaner. Not going to get caught on anything, and especially if you're putting 2, 3, 4 rods together in a boat or the back of your pickup truck, they're not getting tangled up. You know, if you don't do this, you've all done this before, you put 2 or 3 rods in the back of your truck or in the back of your car, and then you pull them out, and it's unbelievable how tangled up, and it takes you a half hour to get them untangled. And now, too, you can just take all of this, come counterclockwise twice, take it out from behind the reel, and now, especially if you're on if you're on the bow of a skiff, now all you have to do is just tap that. It comes right off, and you're ready to cast. Again, let's do that one more time. Super, super easy. You just tap on the rod. So to review, we're going to attach this to the first snake guide above my stripping guides. I'm going to take this leader and I'm going to come around the back side of the reel, not the spool side, kind of tighten it up. Come around your first stripping guide once, twice, and it's all buttoned up. Look at that. Just beautiful. And then you get ready to fish, grab onto that leader, come counterclockwise twice, take it out from behind the reel, point your rod down, just give your rod a tap, and it'll come right off, and you're ready to make a cast. It's a way better system than a hook keeper anyway.
Does it smell like trash out here?
Yeah. So there you have it, friends. There is a better way. If you don't have a hook keeper on there, don't despair, and don't yell at the fly rod manufacturer. Don't yell at the fly shop. They didn't put it on there because you don't need it. There's a better way. It preserves your fly line. It preserves your leader anyways. So you're much better off. So, but if you're absolutely hung up on that, again, check out the loon hook holder, of course, at MadRiverOutfitters.com. So thanks as always, friends. Just thought we'd share that with you for those of you that had not seen us do that before. It's a really cool trick. It works extremely well. That everybody I know, I don't know anybody these days that uses a hook keeper. If you do, that's fine. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying you're stupid. This is America.
It's America.
Was that Flip? You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you that I think wrapping it is a much better way. It just makes more sense. So anyways, there you have it, friends. Thanks as always for watching. We appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. Hit that little notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time we put a video out. And thanks for your support. Really helps us. We depend on your support. So thanks as always. We appreciate you, and stay tuned. We've got a lot more fly fishing content coming your way.